You've paid your $5, now let's get into Stick and Puck. February is upon us.
And February has dawned upon us as well, indeed.
Thou shall stick and puck. I don't know. What's up, everyone? How's it going?
How's everybody doing today? Yes, we shall stick and puck, and shall it commence. I'm Cody Beeks. With me is Keats, as always.
Yes, sir. How's it going, everyone?
Oh man, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Doesn't seem like it, but we do. We really actually do have a lot to talk about. First of all, let's get into the jerseys we're wearing this epi. Shall you take the honors?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Well, I finally got my Patrice Bergeron reverse retro Boston Bruins 2.0, of course. I got the other one with the with the meth bear on the shoulders, but I mean this one you got the Pooh Bear, you got the ridiculous like 90s what would you even call it, like the scratch marks on the arms, or what? I don't know what you call them.
Claw marks, or yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like obviously the Bruins on the shoulder. I absolutely love the Bruins on the shoulder. I think that's great, and I love that it's stitched. It's not like printed like the scratches or anything like that.
No, definitely. That's a very good looking jersey, man.
Oh, I feel good. I feel good wearing it.
Awesome. For me, I got the Winter Classic on Pittsburgh,
which they played Boston.
Which they did, yes.
With the meth bear, so we got the Pooh Bear and the meth bear in 1 year. How crazy is that?
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. Yeah, I have just another Pittsburgh jersey, and this is only my second one. And as you know, I like collecting Latvian players.
Oh,
and,
you?
Yeah, me. And I don't have anything of Teddy, man. I yet had any Teddy jerseys, and I thought this was the occasion to get the Winter Classic with Teddy on the back. So
perfect excuse. And I mean that one's just so fly. I mean, just the fabric that they use, obviously the quintessential Winter Classic fabric for the logo and everything. I mean, I have a past Boston Bruins Winter Classic, the one with the actual bear and the Boston Bruins logo. That one has the same kind of fabric, and I just absolutely love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, man. Yeah, this one caught my eyes. Just like anything with Adidas, I think one thing I'll say about Adidas is they're not the greatest about advertising the new releases. They do like the like the club lights and stuff, and I think it takes a lot away from the jerseys themselves. You don't get to quite see what they are. And I felt the same way with, the Winter Classics and whatnot, and back even with, the reverse retros of Colorado. We talked about it in the past, like, I don't know how I feel about these guys. But now that I have the Colorado and Pittsburgh, absolutely love it, man. It's such a beautiful jersey. Just the colors, how they go together, and everything with it. I absolutely love it.
No, absolutely. How they do advertise it is a bit off-putting because they put it in a light where you don't really get like the full actual, like, I don't know, ambiance of the jersey. You're getting all these lights and stuff. So I mean, just as you mentioned, the Colorado reverse retro, I honestly, in the lighting of the advertisement, I thought the dark blue was black. So I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
And obviously it turned out to be like a dark blue, but yeah, I totally agree with you on the advertising. I mean, it's weird. I don't get it. I mean, obviously it's like a visual aesthetic anyways, just as the jersey is. It's a visual aesthetic. What would you need more? You don't need these party lights. Like, hey, look what we got, like, and I mean, it definitely throws me off when I see New Jersey. So always, you always gotta wait till like you either see it like be like in your shopping cart or when you finally get it, and you're taking a chance because you're like, well, it could look way better in person, and I think that's a lot of what we say very often is because of those advertising. It's just like, well, I gotta wait till I get it and see it in person to really see if I like it.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Like, I mean, everything that you said, and like I mentioned before, yeah, I think some of those advertisements, when you look at them, it takes a lot away from a lot of these jerseys, and maybe sometimes it sways some people not to get them just because of it, right?
Yeah.
So, but us as collectors, we'll, like it or not, sometimes we'll even buy them, even if we don't agree with what we see.
More times than not, we're gonna take a swing at it, anyways.
No, definitely.
Speaking of which, you actually got another new jersey that kind of threw you into a bit of a tizzy.
Oh, Jesus, man. Yeah, let's talk about that one. What was it? This was end of last year, actually. You and I talked, and this was outside of Stick and Buck and everything. I wanted a jersey, part of my Latvian players collection, that I knew that I was simply not going to find on eBay,
anywhere,
Facebook Marketplace. Like, I just knew the chances of me getting a quote unquote authentic jersey is gonna be far fetched.
Even impossible.
So I reached out to you for any sort of advice. Is like, hey man, like, where do you think I could maybe get this or get it like custom made, whatever? Because I just want one, because I know there's not a lot around. It's just a unique type of piece, and you gave me throwback. Was it Throwback Customs?
Custom throwback jerseys.
Or custom throwbacks, which I then got on their side, and I matched up the years and all that to find this player. And the player we're talking about is Helmuts Balderis, which is a sort of Latvian legend, really, and if anything, he's probably the first guy that ever played in the NHL as a Latvian-born player, so to speak. Cool story about him is, when he made it, he played for the Minnesota North Stars at the time. And the story is, he was part of the Soviet team. In fact, he was part of also the Miracle Game. He was on the Soviet side at the time because of where obviously he lived and stuff. And rumors are to this day that the Soviets actually blamed him for the loss of that game. But anyhow, he had retired, and I believe he lived in Japan, and he was coaching kids over there. He had been retired for 5 years since then, and for some way he ended up getting drafted by the NHL, by the North Stars. And again, he was retired already for 5. He hadn't played professional hockey in 5 years. Yeah, so he played for the North Stars. He was till this day, I believe he's still one of the oldest NHL player ever drafted at the time, and I believe he was only like 30. He was
He
was 36 years old at the time, and he played 20 some games. Still scored like 3 goals, 6 assists, something like that.
Right.
Anyhow, just a total legend, right?
Oh, Latvian legend all the way, for sure.
So I wanted a jersey of him in part of my Latvian players collection. And again, I knew I was like, this is not going to be something that I found on eBay or whatever. So you swayed me to custom throwbacks, which I utilized. And I ended up getting one. It was like a 2-month turnaround, and I got everything. I was absolutely happy with the jersey. Everything was hand sewn.
Looked beautiful.
When you flip the jersey inside out, you didn't have like that. Sometimes when you see on some of these like other jerseys, like the old, like the stitching marks and like the cardboard and like just the ugliness, right? Inside of the jersey, everything was cleanly sewed, from the numbers to the logo, everything. It was they used a blank CCM jersey, which to me looked authentic. From what you see from like the vintage jerseys, you look for like the tags. There's certain little things you can look for to see if it's like a knockoff or whatnot. Anyhow, besides even that, I was super stoked on it. I posted it on a couple Facebook jersey places. One I probably shouldn't have posted it on because it was a site for specific jerseys that didn't quite match that. But I did it on other ones. Long story short, after I posted it, I got some positive feedback, and then I got like a storm of like negative. Like we're talking negative, just like comments, and then also negativity being sent to like private on my private message, like people just saying you're advertising knockoffs and like this is fake and everything's fake. How could you, almost this and that. I was even joking. I was like, man, like I'm about to get death threats here in a little bit. Like it's what it seemed like. Yeah, so it just like it just like blew my mind. I couldn't believe it, man. And it made me realize, as excited as I was to like join these like groups and like share jerseys and maybe like have like conversations about players or whatever, something that I thought was like very positive, led me to see how actually very toxic and negative the jersey community is. From this point on, I'm still part of like a goalie group, which I think I'll stay because those guys are pretty cool and I've had no issues with. But other like than that, like these like quote unquote jersey specific people, I have left all those groups, and I don't think I'll ever be part of those groups again after this little experience I had. It's just not for me, man. Like I collect for myself,
right?
And I don't need some keyboard warrior to like blow up my phone and talk how much I suck apparently or whatnot. So
and that's just that is the sad thing about it. I mean, these groups, I mean, in my eyes, were totally supposed to be made to connect with other people and to build each other up and have a good time talking about the jerseys that you got. But it has turned into such a perfect word. It really is such a toxic environment. I mean, if there's one thing that's wrong with it, you just get a mountain of shit piled upon you for no other reason that they're elitist about it.
Sure.
And I mean, not everybody can fucking spend $700 and get an MIC fully game used, totally authentic jersey, dude. I mean, sorry, but that's just the case. And I mean, especially in your case, like, dude, you're never gonna find a Balderas jersey ever,
right? And the thing about it too is like when I posted it, like I was very open to like what it was. I never like posted and said like, check out this authentic or whatever, right? So it's like
you weren't clout chasing.
I was very honest, like where I got it and what it was, right? But even with that, it seemed like it wasn't enough, like to ruin some keyboard warriors' day for them to like literally like private message me, to like let me know how like apparently disgusted they were or whatever. Yeah, dude, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Like I tried not to let it get to me. Like I laughed for most of it, but I was like, this is like I've never been in a situation like that in my life. So it was more so I was just like mind blown like how much, like people out of their day, like, it was like, let me message this guy and let him know.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's like I fucking killed someone. I mean, I don't know. Like, it was insane.
No, and that's the thing, man. I've gotten that before too. Just these elitist thoughts, just like, oh well, this isn't 100% real. I'm like, well, A, you're not trying to sell it. All you're doing is just like talking about how stoked you are for it.
Yeah.
And trying to, like throw a little bit of hockey lore out there.
No, definitely.
And all you get is, and what you get is just a bunch of dicks saying, oh, that's not an authentic, that's a knockoff. Dude, I fucking know. I bought it from Custom Throwback Jerseys. I get it. But there's no fucking way I'm going to find an authentic Helmut Spalders jersey out there ever.
Well, that's what's funny about that was, too, is like, for some dude, like, commented and said, like, oh, this is, like, a knockoff, and Throwbacks been known to, like, do knockoffs or whatever the fuck he said. So then I respectfully messaged him back. I was like, well, what is your suggestion on, like, an alternative thing for your quote unquote out of the ordinary fucking jerseys?
Right.
What do you suggest? If that's not acceptable and it's a knockoff or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then the dude replies and says, well, you just gotta look, man. You just gotta look. And he repeats, like, eBay, like, Facebook Marketplace, da-da-da-da-da, this and that. I was like, well, you didn't answer my question. Because I specifically asked you, like, well, what do you recommend for something that you can't fucking find on eBay and this and that? And then since then, he then fucking deletes the fucking response. So, like, shows, like, for how, like, oh, you were all like, oh, these are knockoffs, like, but then you don't have a good answer to it.
So he was basically just
trying to be a fucking keyboard warrior fucking troll, and then he can't back up his own fucking shit. So, it's hilarious to me. But on top of all that, too, is, like, I mean, you've been collecting for years.
Right.
Can you tell me a difference between, like, a replica and a custom? Is there when you use those terms, replica or custom, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, replicas, are just models after the actual thing.
Sure.
So, I mean, just different in stitching and different in, like, material. But I mean, customs, you can get a replica custom, like Custom Throwback Jerseys. And honestly, I took a look at that thing. I saw it. And I've ordered from Custom Throwback Jerseys. I've got no fucking problem with them. You know?
I mean, I've for sure seen some, like, negative feedback from those guys.
Well, shit,
a lot of the feedback that it's been, it's like, the time, like, like, oh, it took me like 3 months until I got in this and that, which, and I don't know, like, maybe, like, their site was different before or whatever, but they're very open. They're like, yo, this, like, our time turn right now is like 2 months, 3 months, whatever, right? So it's like, when you order, like, it's very expected.
And I've seen terrible feedback from Cool Hockey, where it's actually like the quality of the jersey that's called into question, not the timetable of when you're gonna get it.
Right.
And I've read countless, and they only do quote unquote authentics. Indo authentic jerseys, especially now with Adidas. Yeah. So I mean, what's the fucking problem, man?
Well,
really.
Now that you mention, like, Cool Hockey and all that, like, here's my other question: is, like, so you see, like. And people post the shit on these fucking jersey fucking groups and constantly, like kids, like, customizing jerseys. So they'll buy, like, a blank Pittsburgh or whatever, and then they'll go to
like EPS or
like Authentic Customs or whatever. Yeah. You can send your jersey in, and they'll sew on whatever the hell you want on the back of it.
Yeah.
So are you creating a knockoff? That's a knockoff, right? Because that wasn't there before. So you created a fucking knockoff.
Yeah, especially if you get a player now on a jersey like 3 or 4 years ago.
That was, yeah, from a jersey that was like, yeah, exactly. What about, like, let's use our Avs, for example. We won the Stanley Cup last season. Like, there were fucking fans, you know, like, Avs haven't changed their jerseys too much. You know, you say, let's use our home jersey, the maroon with the Avs logo. There was a night where at the Ball Arena, they were fucking patching the Stanley Cup patches for free for people, and a lot of people took advantage of that, right? So did you just fucking create a knockoff of, like, a Landeskog jersey or whatever?
Right. What's the difference?
Because that jersey you bought that jersey like 3 years before we won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And now you have a Stanley Cup patch on it or whatever. Like, is that a knockoff now? Because that doesn't match the time era. You know, like, I mean, so many, I could fucking go on and on and on. Fanatics, for example, like, are Fanatics all fucking knockoffs? Their logos are smaller. Sometimes certain teams are like super jacked up on their jerseys. The colors are off and all that. So is that a knockoff? They're recognized by the NHL, but it looks nothing like an authentic jersey. So is that a fucking knockoff?
Right.
So, I mean, you get my point, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. At that point, you're just splitting hairs, dude. You really are. That's all it is. That these people just want to, you know, feel superior to whomever, you know, doesn't have the means or whatever to, you know, get a fucking $700, you know, game used jersey that, you know, the players actually use. Like, dude, that's all it is. It really is. It's an elitist, like, ego trip.
Yeah, no, I was just, anyhow, dude, I was just blown away.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I like I said, I've been there before, and that's why I stopped participating in most of those groups.
Long story short, like I mentioned before, this is for sure my last time I'm participating in any of those fucking groups.
Oh yeah.
I will never join Reddits, any of that's ever, like, I'm doing it for me. Like, I don't care about anything else. So that's that.
Yeah, and you know what? You just did an unboxing for what we're going to talk about next. Which, I mean, thank you guys for watching that. That we got a great turnout for that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I ended up jumping on the Washington jersey. The next Stadium Series of this year is just a week away, or a week
pretty
or
close,
less than a week.
Yeah,
February 18th, I believe.
That's less. Yeah, about a week.
So yeah, we got Washington against Carolina. Those things got released on Adidas, and the Washington jersey just like got my attention, dude, immediately.
Yeah, unreal.
I had to have it, so I got it. Did a review. It's available on YouTube for people that haven't seen it. Please check it out if you'd like to. But yeah, dude, what were your opinions on those two?
Honestly, I thought the Washington Capitals jersey was great. It was, even the hockey guy remarked it was reminiscent of, you know, the Avs Stadium Series jersey back in 2016, you know, against the Los Angeles Kings. And I thought that was really cool. I mean, that's exactly what Stadium Series jerseys are supposed to be, you know, like take it kind of out of the norm, not be, you know, just like the humdrum normal kind of stuff. And, you know, I thought they knocked it out of the park. And unfortunately, the Carolina Hurricanes jersey did get leaked last year because this game was actually supposed to be played last year.
Yeah.
Except for, you know, I think it was COVID problems or something about that. But either way, it did get leaked last year. So, I mean, we'd already seen it, but still, it was just, it was very uninspired, very, like, normal. It was nothing like the Washington Capitals jersey where they took a big swing. You know?
I mean, Carolina was... It was boring. I will say it was boring. I mean, the only thing that they changed the color of the jersey. They went black, you know, which is not that you see very often. And but other than that, you know, everything else is, you know, you have the same logo. Everything about it was fairly similar to what they wear any game.
Very underwhelming. And yeah, I've seen that jersey. I've seen them wear a very similar jersey to that, if not almost identical.
Yeah.
You know, so I was very underwhelmed. So I can't wait to see the actual kits, you know, like the gloves, you know, pants, with all that, I'm really excited to see the Capitals one. So, and I mean, like I said, like even on your unboxing video, that thing just looks beautiful. All the close-ups and everything. It was just, yeah, that's a beautiful jersey.
It's so good. I can't wait to wear it at the next Stick and Puck. I'm super stoked on it. Might be one of my next ones that I wear.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, just to show it off in person, you know. But it just, yeah, the eagle, how it has its wings spread, it just looks so cool.
Yeah,
so cool. And like I mentioned, I was like, if I were the Capitals, you know, I'd keep that in their jersey roster and not get rid of that. Like, use it home games, whatever. Right?
I would totally switch that to their thirds for sure. You know, some jerseys just hit, and that one hits.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of jerseys, we got the All-Star jerseys. How'd you feel about those?
Well, the All-Star jerseys to me were just as ugly as the All-Star game itself.
Oh God, yes.
One thing I will say is I do appreciate the nostalgic Eastern and Western logo that we had in the early 90s, you know.
Agreed.
That I really liked. But the jersey itself, you know, like the Miami Vice type of colors, it just not for me. I didn't think the colors went together well. It just, yeah, something I wasn't very into. Yeah, what's your opinion?
Well, you know, I'll tell you what. So many jersey concept artists, you'll see them like floating around every now and then. They've done a Florida Panthers mock-up of the Miami Vice with that pink, white, and green, like late 80s, early 90s vibe. They finally got it. You know, they finally got it, and thank God it wasn't an actual jersey that they wear during the season. It was just an all-star jersey because I tell you what, they were ugly. I didn't like them at all.
Yeah, not for me, man.
Speaking of ugly and not liking it all, did you get to catch any of the All-Star Super Skills or game?
I watched a little bit of the skills, and that's as much as I got. I did not watch the game. It was boring, man. It was so boring. Even the skills, you know, I remember as a kid watching the skills. I was super into it. The target shooting, all that stuff, like, I don't know if it's because I've gotten older and it's not as interesting to me anymore, but, like, I struggled with all of it. It was just, I don't know. It's almost like they're out of ideas, you know, and they're trying to do these stupid games and things, and none of it really makes sense. Yeah, I just, not for me, man.
The one that I didn't get was the golf skills competition, where they're actually out on the green, like on like a golf course, and they're using sticks and pucks to shoot to a hole.
Well, they was doing the whole Happy Gilmore, is I think seeing what they were going with, and
it was
which speaking of that annoyed me. Who was the one that did it on the ice with PK just like screaming, "Come on, Happy! Come on, Happy!
I think
Let's go, Happy!"
I think it was Pasta that did it.
I'm not gonna lie, PK annoyed the living shit out of me in that All-Star game.
Oh, like Mitch Marner and PK's little acting thing that they did to open up like the breakaways competition. I turned it off right there. I thought that was the most cringy fucking thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, he is just awful, man. Like, that's, like, I don't know. Put Mosier or someone in there, he would have done a better job.
Dude, like, my left foot could have done a better job.
I just kept, like, more so, like, his fucking voice. I don't know what it was. Like, shut up, dude.
Oh, it's just so cringe, man. All of it was just so cringe.
And then when he did the whole, I don't know if you saw the whole locker room thing where he was, like, giving nicknames to, like, I think it was, what was it, like, McDavid and Nate? And it was, like, McBreezy, and like, all these stupid, like... Dude, it was just...
And another thing that I hated about it is that they had Pat Maroon as another one of the announcers. Dude, you're in Sunrise. You're not in Tampa Bay. So you get a well-known, well-liked player from the other Florida team to come and be on the ice and announce and stuff. Yeah, that's a great idea. No. Oh, let's get somebody from the other Florida team to come and be fuck dog on the ice. Well, you couldn't have at least gotten somebody like somebody who actually plays for the team that's in the city that you're at.
At least
to do that.
At least he admitted that that's the closest he'll ever be to an All-Star game.
Yeah, true. No doubt about that for sure. But I mean, it was just so bad, dude. And then even the game was like the actual tournaments and stuff during the Central, and I think it was the Pacific game. I think it was one of the first ones. They actually called a goal back. They actually went to a video review and fucking called a goal back, dude. It's the All-Star game. No one gives a shit. Let the goal stand. Like, nobody gives a fuck about the rules.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me, man? Like, it was just. The whole weekend was just so cringe, and just like how you said, Torts said it best. You don't watch it; he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it was ugly, man, and it pains to see what's to come. I mean, they're not gonna go away. So, what's the next one's in like Toronto, I believe.
Yeah.
So. Who knows what they're going to do then? Or maybe this is going to be a learning lesson. We need to do something different.
Oh, and even like the accuracy shooting, there's this huge drama now that Nazem Kadri cheated.
Oh, yeah, because he was too close to the net or some shit.
Like, once again, who gives a flying fart, man? It's the All-Star super skills. Who gives a flying fart? I mean, nobody even went to the damn thing. Nonetheless, would care if someone was a foot or two closer. But it happened against Connor McDavid, so we got to make a huge stink about it.
I mean, all in all, it's just a big drinking fest is what it really is, and
it's pandering 101 for sure.
Yeah, it's just a drinking fest, and I thought about this. To like, who really wins out of this whole All-Star weekend? The players that didn't make it or players that made it? Because as far as I'm concerned, I've seen, players that weren't part of the All-Star. They were out on vacation with their families, and it looked like they had an awesome time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Compared to the people that are actually part of the thing. So
no, I'd much rather not be invited to the All-Star game for sure. If I was one of those guys, no way would I want to go. And you know what's even worse is that if you deny going, then you're gonna get suspended for an actual game.
Yeah,
I mean, because Ovi did it not too long ago. He decided to opt out and he got suspended for the next 2 games. Coming back from that, which is so ridiculous.
It's weird, man.
I know.
To kind of add to it all, speaking of Ovi, and we don't have to get into because this is gets sticky and weird, and I don't really want to get into it too deep. But
we're no political scientists, but it does feel like something needs to be said.
But obviously, Ovi was out there, and he had his little kid with him, and Hasek, he's been after Ovi since the beginning of the war, obviously. And I don't remember the word-by-word things or whatnot, but, basically, Hasek's how shitty it is to, see, this Russian player, and he has the ability to bring his kid on there, and they're filming his kid, and this and that. And while they're having this grand fucking time, there's innocent children getting killed in Ukraine or whatever he said.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are Hasek, you're fucking crazy. I've seen most negative comments towards Hasek's, tweet or whatever. Yeah, do you have any thoughts on it, dude?
I mean, he's not wrong, some kids are luckier than others, and there you got Alex Ovechkin, who's been maybe not an outspoken but very clearly a supporter of Putin and all this stuff that's going on, and you got 8-year-old Sergei Ovechkin going out and skating with all these super awesome hockey players. But yes, there are children in Ukraine that are being displaced from their homes because they're being destroyed, or being innocently killed, for sure. So I mean, I get it, but You know, it's just so murky, man. You don't want to kind of. It's awful because this is really like kind of an American way of thinking about it, but like you don't want to think about that too much. But it is absolutely happening.
No, definitely, dude. Sorry, I turned my mic down too much. There we go. No, I agree with you, man. It's a touchy subject, man. You definitely see both sides of it all, right? So, yeah, you see that side. It's like, why would you advertise that? You know?
Yeah.
Especially, a player like Ovechkin that's been like very, very open of his support of the Russian president, posting pictures of them together and this and that. I think there's a line that you have to draw. I know everyone always says like keep sports away from politics, which I do agree
fully.
but I think NHL needs to step in and draw a line somewhere. Because when you do, have selfies with Putin and all this shit, and then the All-Star Game comes and there's this Russian guy, letting his kid do whatever, and away from the poor kid, the kid probably doesn't even know what the fuck's going on in the world right now. He's so young, you know what I mean? He has no idea. But, for everyone else, for the adults, so to speak, it's just like, you do have to draw a line somewhere, and you do have to, like, I know Ovechkin's like the LeBron, like, you don't want to fucking piss him off because he's such a star or whatever, but I think the NHL does have to step in and draw a line somewhere.
There is a certain bit of reality
like,
that does
like, maybe we shouldn't do that right now, or, like, maybe we shouldn't have this or that, like, but they're not doing it, and therefore, like, I do agree with Hasek in that aspect. It's like, like, this is, like, it's really not cool. This is not the right time to do this stuff. But
it is a little bit in poor taste for sure.
But that's my opinion on it, man. I don't want to get in deeper into it because.
Well, yeah. Speaking of in poor taste, I mean, we did sort of. I sort of covered that whole Zegras Stetcher debacle on that little update I did, but so I guess it does turn out that Stetcher, Zegras did not actually say anything about Stetcher's father, which I mean is good, because you don't want to think some guy's really gonna attack some another guy's dead father or even a relative or anything like that. You don't want to think that way, and that's kind of a scummy way to go. So I guess that's good, but I mean, whatever he did say, man, he fucking lit him up.
Yeah, that whole situation was weird, right? Like, I mean, when it first came out, it was just like all over the tabloids and everything. Zegras said this and that, and
people are trying to read lips and
they were showing the, like, what did Zegras say? Yeah, they had like the snippets of the videos and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, chirping's been like huge in hockey, right? Like, even when we played as young kids.
It's an integral facet
we
of the
talked
game.
a lot of shit, and the more you got under someone's skin is like, the more advantage you almost got in the game sometimes,
Oh, fully.
So it's part of the game, unfortunately. I obviously, I don't agree with if he in fact did say something about someone's late father or whatnot. Like, that's not cool. You got to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah.
But the more like things started coming out the weeks after or whatever, sounds like it had absolutely nothing to do with that. And I kind of had a feeling already about that too, was when they asked Stetcher, thank you, Stetcher, to comment on it, and he refused to make any comments towards it.
Right.
Made me believe, was like, all right, the story might not be there, that what they're saying, because
I'd be grasping too deep.
I feel like if I was Stetcher and indeed that did happen, I'd be fucking on media and everything, and I'd be fucking throwing him under the bus like no other. Like,
Right.
I really would. Like, especially if it was such a touchful subject like that.
Yeah, such a heinous thing. So.
Which he didn't do, and that therefore I was already like, nah, I think there's a little more to the story, or less to the story, so to speak. So yeah, I wasn't too like, oh, this is gonna be a big thing. Plus, the NHL didn't get really involved in it.
Yeah, just a bit
There
of
were no
overblown
fines,
nonsense.
nothing like that, no suspensions. So I think it was just all he said, she said. So
Yeah. Well, that's good, but I mean, yeah, whatever he did say, I mean, Stetcher was after him, that's for sure. So I could kind of see that it might have happened, but I mean, I'm glad that, there's a little more integrity even in chirping.
no,
Because,
for sure.
because I mean, chirping, like I said, chirping's part of the game. I mean, everybody fucking chirps. Everybody beaks, everybody squawks, and I mean, you don't want too negative of a light cast on that, because it is part of the game, and I mean, it shouldn't like not be a part of the game. I mean, everybody's gotta be fucking silent to each other while they're playing. No, that's never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I do think Zegras does beak a little too much. But,
He's young though,
yeah.
man. The kid's like 21 years old. Like, what were you when you were 21? Like, he talked shit, and
Oh yeah.
like, he's not matured. Like, no one's matured at that age. I think it will come with time and experience.
All I gotta say is that he's gonna beak to somebody wrong, and he's gonna get one right in the mouth. That's for sure.
Lucic.
Or I mean, Kermack. Jeez, dude. Ryan Reeves. I mean, there's still some guys that'll put you in the into the ground. So
No, for sure.
you better watch that out. No, those zebras aren't gonna protect him every game. That's for sure.
No, definitely not. No.
No, I do also have actually. I just read this today. Jake Virtanen. You remember Jake Virtanen? Vancouver Canucks. He recently got into this huge sexual assault scandal. He was cleared of it, but nobody wanted to sign him. I think he got a PTO, but got let go of it this year.
Okay.
So he went and played in the Swiss League this year, and
Good money, by the way.
not for him anymore, because he got into an altercation with one of his teammates on the bench at the end of a game, the other night.
No shit. So yeah, just released.
Verbal and physical. Yeah, he's done for
That sucks,
that
man.
team, man.
To KHL he goes.
I don't know, man. I mean, if he could only find a gang in the Swiss League, I don't even know if the KHL would want to take him.
Dude, the
Especially-
KHL has no standards. It's
That
Russia.
is true. That is true. That's a good point. But even there's even reports straight from the team's mouth is that he was just absolutely just toxic in the locker room. It was all just about him. Eating up ice time and that stereotypical, it's all about me, fuck the team, I'm gonna pad my stats kind of guy. And yeah, I guess the entire team went to the GM and said it's either him or all of us. Almost all of the team did that.
Wow.
So they let him go.
Must have been a real asshole then.
I could see it, man. I could totally see it. But I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up real quick. We're talking about all this drama and stuff. So
definitely. Well, let's add to the drama. I mean, you mentioned the Canucks. Canucks have had all kinds of drama.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that rebuild is coming hard. And I mean, obviously, the first domino to fall was Bruce Boudreau.
Yeah, so letting Boudreau go, that whole situation was weird too. I'll be honest, I didn't know much about it until it started popping up. So from the sounds of it, he knew for months he was gonna get fired, and they just kept basically dragging the guy along really.
Oh yeah.
The whole time. So he's coaching this team, but yet he knows he's not wanted. They're openly doing interviews with other coaches, whatnot. So super ugly, shitty, unprofessional.
Absolutely. The way that was handled was just so so disgusting by the Vancouver front office. Just like Bruce Boudreau's got fucking tenure in this league, man. That he is a hockey guy. He's a player's coach, man. He has been very successful in this league for a really long time. You don't fucking drag people around like that. I mean, in general, even if it is like a first-year coach or Bruce Boudreau, but you especially don't do that to Boudreau.
Yeah.
You just don't. That is just ridiculous. And what a fucking champion. He handled it like with such grace and dignity, as Boudreau would do, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just being dragged through the mud. And then come to find out, when they finally signed Rick Talkadon, you know, then like all the Canuck media is saying, oh, it's obviously Bruce Boudreau's fault that they're not playing really well. 3 games into it, Talkett says, this Canucks team is soft.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bruce, there it is, if you will. If all, like, you know, just how everybody's been saying. But Bruce, there it is, man. It wasn't the fucking coach, man. You got to look at your team.
No, definitely. And it's what's funny with that, too, is it actually might have even been Bo Horvat. Had like an interview at the time, and he's like, no, we love our coach. He's very respected. This is not a coaching issue. This is like a team issue. All this and that, you know, and then he gets straight.
Right. So, like, you know, yeah. And then, yeah, Bo's headed to fucking Long Island, you know, for Anthony Beauvillier, a Bo for a Bo, I guess, and Aturatu in a 2024 conditional pick. I mean, great return, but I mean, fuck, dude.
Yeah, I guess everything works out for a reason in a way. I mean, I know Bo had mentioned before he thought he was going to be a Canuck for life, you know. I mean, that being a team captain too at the time. Yeah, I think a lot of whatever was going on had a lot to do with him leaving as well. He might have been a very outspoken guy during the time or whatever.
I mean, he wasn't out in the media saying like what the fuck's going on or anything. So.
I'm more so speaking like outside of like the media and stuff.
Oh well,
you know,
yeah, you never know about that for
like
sure.
voicing out his concerns or whatever, you know, to the management. And it might have been the same thing. It was like, well, this guy's not with us, so.
Honestly, I don't like. If I was the Vancouver Canucks, I wouldn't have. I really wouldn't have looked at Bo Horvat as the first one to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, especially with JT Miller's current toxicity, screaming at players on the ice during games. They signed Miller to that gigantic new contract. Mm-hmm. So, and then they got Andrei Kuzmenko on a 5-year, which is actually a pretty good contract. But at that point, it was either you choose Kuzmenko or Horvat, and they chose Kuzmenko. Almost not even a week later, Horvat's heading to Long Island. So, this is only the first 2 dominoes of just a total rebuild, obviously.
Right.
So who's next to go? I'm honestly calling Brock Besser next for sure. And now Thatcher Demko's asked for a trade out of Vancouver. Huh. So their goaltender, they're like this guy who's supposed to be they gave away Jakob Markstrom for, to really base their goaltending around once out as well. So yeah, I'm quite interested at what the Vancouver Canucks are going to be looking like after the trade deadline. We're going to probably be talking about a few of those Vancouver trades.
No, yeah,
for sure.
No, it'll be interesting to see, man. But yeah, that team has a lot to work through for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess the last thing we really got to talk about is the Golden Jet passing away. Bobby Hall.
Bobby Hall, man.
Leaving us at 84.
Interesting fact about Bobby. Me and Bobby have the same birthday, January 3rd.
Get out, really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Hopefully you don't die on the same day.
Wow.
Oh, you're still living, so I guess you're all right, eh?
That got dark.
That was pretty dark, yeah. Sorry about that.
Jesus,
That was
man.
bad. That was bad.
God.
Yeah, producer, cut that one.
Me?
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, Bobby Hull, as polarizing as he was, he had his troubles off the ice, with, alcohol and like his son, like his relationship with his sons for sure. But you can't bat an eye at what he did on the ice. I mean, bringing in the curved stick, huge. I mean, signing at least one of the first $1 million contracts in hockey with the Winnipeg Jets of the WHA. You got to admit, I mean, he had reshaped the game for sure.
No, yeah, definitely. He was, how do you put it? Like, he was like that new generation player, right? That you didn't see at his age.
Oh, yeah.
With the power of his shot, which obviously the stick had a lot to do with it, but also he's known to be probably one of the stronger skaters at the time, too.
Oh, yeah.
How fast he could get from one end to the other.
Oh yeah, I mean, infamous for those full ice rushes. Just that golden hair waving in the air and just like freaking aptly named Golden Jet.
Yeah, definitely. No, he was definitely a player that made an impact in the NHL. Something that you did not see in that day of age. Like, it was just something that
it was a spectacle. It really was. It was a spectacle. It's like seeing Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon like skating up the ice now. It was like
it's normal now, right? Like, it's expected almost.
But yeah, back then it was like people didn't even matter if you liked hockey.
And especially with the equipment you had at the time too. Yeah. Like, you didn't have the fancy skates and everything,
Yeah.
So I mean, that too, right? But yeah, no, well-deserved Hall of Famer. 23. What is it? About 23 seasons or something like that.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
in the league,
even seasons in the WHA.
Yeah. So definitely a very, very respected guy and well-deserved.
For sure. So, I think that's about it. That's all we got on the docket today, don't we?
That's all we got for now, I think.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for watching. Huge shout out to everybody who watched the unboxing video. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool to see.
We'll definitely have more coming out. We got a couple other ones brewing. We don't even want to, like, it's not even gonna be unboxings. Like, it's gonna be part of what we want to do to put out on the channel and whatnot. But like, we have some other things brewing outside of just the jerseys.
Oh yeah,
we want to show off our little cave here where we film and show people how we do that. So we got some things brewing, guys.
Still might be working on like live reaction games kind of thing. Maybe like do a stadium series thing if we can, or
just definitely.
I mean, throw something down in the comments. Let us know what you guys want to see and see what we could do. Definitely,
guys. All right.
Yeah, until then, please like, watch, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon for notifications for new content on YouTube. And if you're not watching, we got you on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
All those places.
Yeah, and catch us on Instagram for everything else that we want to throw out.
Yep, that's it. Get us at stickandpuck_pod.
Yeah, until then, keep your tape sticked, tie up those skates, keep your head up, and get ready for another session of Stick and Puck.
See you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.